In the heart of the city, where dreams come alive, B-Wap's on the mic with that fire in his eyes. From the court to the field, every game, every fight, he's the voice of the struggle under stadium lights. He's seen the highs and the lows, the wins and the pain, every triumph and tear, every loss in the rain. But through it all, he stands tall, never backs down, with a heart full of love for this sports-loving town. Sports talk we watch, where the passion runs deep. Every story, every glory, every promise we keep. From the love of the game to the struggles we face, he's the voice of the people in the sacred space. Sports talk we watch, where the passion runs deep. Sports talk we watch, where the passion runs deep. Sports talk we watch, where the passion runs deep. There's a love in the air for the game and the grind, for the players who hustle, leaving it all behind. Through the sweat and the tears, the blood and the fight, B-Wap tells the stories under the bright.
What's going on? What's going on, family? On this Monday night, you're watching Sports Talk with B. Watts. I'm your host, Bernard Watts. Do me a favor, do me a solid, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed. Hit that notification bell to let you know whenever I go live or drop a video. If you would like to continue to support the broadcast in any kind of way, Cash App, Super Chat, or just simply join the membership. If you just join that membership, hey, I will highly appreciate it. All right? Hey, want to say hello to everyone in the chat. The best chat room down in the comment section on YouTube. Want to thank them for being a part of the show. Thank them for being a part of the family. They're one of the best, and I'm glad to have them on my side. Yes, I am. Hey, Shedeur Sanders has been named the starting quarterback for the remainder of the season for the Cleveland Browns, per the head coach, Kevin Stefanski. Let's listen to Kevin Stefanski.
I think all along, Mary Kay, as you know, with our quarterbacks and our young players, you're always making sure that you're making the right decisions for our guys. And I think he has constantly and consistently gotten better in each one of these games and how he's approached this game. He's been working very hard. So I feel good about where his development is heading. He knows there are always going to be plays that he can be better and those type of things. But he's very intentional about getting better each and every game he's out there.
That's the head coach, Kevin Stefanski, talking about naming Shedeur Sanders the starting quarterback for the remainder of the season. And hey, Shedeur Sanders took that decision out of his hand yesterday. Shedeur Sanders took that decision out of Kevin Stefanski's hand yesterday. The owner, the general manager, they saw the performance of Shedeur Sanders yesterday. They saw his performance. What reason would Kevin have to go back to Dylan Gabriel? What reason would the head coach have to even try to put out Deshaun Watson in front of Shedeur Sanders? Let's make that make sense. Shedeur Sanders has really been the best quarterback in the Cleveland Browns organization this year since he arrived. They lied about the rookie minicamp camp. DG up against Shedeur Sanders. They lied about OTAs. They lied about training camp. They even lied about the preseason. And they even took it a little farther. Lied about the regular season. That Dylan Gabriel was a better quarterback and further along than Shedeur Sanders. Who did the line? The Cleveland Browns organization and the Cleveland media. They lied, they lied, they lied. That's all it was about. They lied. And they can't justify it. How can you tell me that Dylan Gabriel, Joe Flacco, or either Kenny Pickett was better than Shedeur Sanders? Shedeur Sanders only been starting for 3 weeks. His first time taking first team reps with the #1 offense 3 weeks ago. He only have been practicing with Jerry Jeudy, the #1 offense, for a total of 9 days. They practice on Tuesday, Wednesday. Excuse me. They practice on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of every week. And for him to go out there yesterday, I'm not worried about what he did against the Las Vegas Raiders. That was a good game too. I'm not worried about what he did last week. But for Shedeur to go out there and perform at a high level yesterday in the climate that he was in, the weather, the snowing, and almost throw for 400 yards, can Dylan Gabriel do that? Can Dylan Gabriel bring you back from a 14-point deficit in the snow and give you a chance to win? So tell me how further along was Dylan Gabriel than Shedeur Sanders. So you telling me Kevin Stefanski, the head coach, chose Dylan Gabriel over Shedeur Sanders, and he preferred to give Joe Flacco all the reps during training camp and preseason and put Shedeur down on the bottom of the field. And still, he get a chance to keep his job as the head coach of the Cleveland Browns. That's some nasty work. I see why. This experience with Shedeur Sanders that I have followed has shown me why the Cleveland Browns organization reputation is the way it is. It started at top with the owner, Jimmy Haslam. He had to approve this now. Ain't no way a coach ain't won but 6 games out of 2 years can go out there and do some stuff like this. Even the owner don't care, or he don't know nothing about football. He just got a whole lot of money, and he just got a team, and he just let anybody run it. That's nasty work. And they got Shedeur in this mess. You know what? I know this is where God wants Shedeur to be. But I'm at the point now, from what I done seen, I wish they trade my dog. Man, Cleveland Browns do not deserve Shedeur Sanders as a quarterback. I'm just keeping it real with you. I'm being honest. I don't thought about this thing. You know, it's just the stuff he had to go through just to get on the field and play football. If you want to win, if you didn't want to win, why draft him? You had Dylan Gabriel. You should have rolled with Dylan Gabriel. You should have just, hey, D. Watts, if we hadn't drafted him, wasn't nobody, man, just let him go undrafted so he can pick a team that he can go try it with. Because there's no way a human being that knows football and sport can tell me Shedeur coming out of college that Kenny Pickett was better than him. Nobody can tell me that Joe Flacco at 40-something years old will give the Cleveland Browns a better chance of winning a football game than Shedeur coming out of Colorado. No way somebody can tell me that a 5'4" Hawaiian quarterback from Oregon was going to be better than Shedeur in the NFL. You just can't sell me that. Now, if Kevin sold the owner, and I know damn well Andrew Berry didn't believe that. That's why he picked Shedeur. If Kevin sold that idea to the owner, that owner needs to sell his team because he ain't got no business being the owner of no franchise that's trying to win a Super Bowl, if that's the goal. No way. Shedeur went out there and told the world and told the NFL and told Cam Ward, boy, you ain't better than me. You should have never been drafted first. You know I ain't no 5th round draft pick, and Cam Ward know he ain't either. Shedeur went out there and showed the world he went up against a #1 draft pick and played better than he did. Cam Ward been taking first team reps since April or May. Shedeur just started back 3 weeks ago. Jerry Judas showed his stinking butt last week, and now he flipping in the end zone like Santa Claus now came and playing in the snow. I'm just trying to tell you, man, Shedeur is a special type of guy. What God has for you, can't no man take it away. Can't take it away. You can scheme all you want. You can hate all you want. You can do whatever you want to do behind the scene or do to a person. It ain't just got to be Shedeur. What God has for that person, you can't take it away from him. He ain't said nothing about no money. He ain't cried about this. He ain't cried about that. He took everything that y'all had head on, Cleveland, and said he gonna march right through it. And at the end, you got to come and see me. Well, guess what? That mirror is up front and close. And you got to look at it. Tony Gross. Tony Gross.
Congratulations to Shedeur. Outstanding game. He won, the Browns lost.
Yeah.
What I found most impressive about a very impressive day was that he came back from 2 double-digit deficits.
Twice.
Both times. He made more plays in that game than he had in his 2.5 games prior combined.
Yeah.
And he brought him back. And I don't even blame him for the interception.
Yeah.
Because
was trying.
as he explained it, we needed a spark. And I'll learn not to do that. You know, he said everything. I'm really impressed with his self-awareness after games. But on the field, he deserves his props. That was outstanding.
Another person who killed another person's name all offseason, all during preseason, all during the season, and now we done came to this point. But you know what I done found out, chat, and everybody that tuning in, everybody that was against and saying bad things about Shedeur Sanders coming up to his time to start, they never watched him play football at Colorado. They never watched him play quarterback at Jackson State. They never did their research about Shedeur Sanders' past, and that's why they used their prejudgment against him going forward. All they knew was Deion. That's all they knew. And they're doing the same thing to Shiloh. They don't know the character of these young guys, these young men. They ain't never been in trouble. Yeah, they like the cars, they like the music, they like the flash and all that, but they humble. They humble. Shedeur is humble. Shiloh is humble. Bucket is humble. They prejudged them off Coach Prime. And it's really the old heads out there in the Cleveland media because they never did their homework. They never did their research of Shedeur Sanders when he was playing quarterback at Colorado. It shows you that. And I was a fool to sit here and try to argue with these clowns when I knew they just didn't know no better. They didn't know no better. Shedeur Sanders was him at Jackson State. Truth, Jackson State, and Colorado. Ain't nothing changed about Shedeur Sanders as a quarterback. If they had done their homework, Now they got to sit up there and eat crow. Mary Kay, Tony Grossi, all of the game. Got to sit up there and eat crow. I didn't know this. I didn't know that. Well, the reason why you didn't know because you didn't do your homework as a journalist. You sit there and listen to that bull jive that the Cleveland Browns inside organization kept feeding you, and you ran with it. And now you're looking like a fool. Kevin, too. Sitting there listening to Kevin, trying to tell you that Dylan Gabriel was better than Shedeur Sanders, which we knew that wasn't the case. And Tony Grossi put Kevin on the spot during the interview.
Kevin, hi. Was it a mistake not to start Shedeur earlier?
Yeah, I'm not going to get into those type of things, Tony. I'm obviously focused on what's in front of us.
About the second 2-point conversion, Batonio said after the game, you guys were repping that play back in Philadelphia. I remember seeing it myself. But the fact is, Judkins was not with you in Philadelphia. So did he get reps Friday on that play?
He did.
How'd he do?
We ran the play. So, Tony, bottom line is we'll always look at things that we can do better, but I trust our guys. We work hard during the week to rep plays that we may play, that you may show in the game. But that was not the issue there.
Okay. Thank you.
Once again, Tony Grossi, he letting us know without saying it, he did not follow Shedeur at Jackson State nor Colorado. And then he knew he would listen to the inside of the building and to that head coach. And Tony Grossi finally put that fire to his feet. Was it a mistake not to start Shedeur Sanders at the beginning of the season? Hell yeah, everybody know that. He ain't gonna come out and say it. He know that was. He knew that wasn't the right thing to do. To sit Shedeur out alone by himself and come out there and tell the media or have some of his people to come out there and tell Mary Kay them he's farther along than Shedeur Sanders. What? Yeah. This dude was in 6 years in college. Dylan Gabriel was 6 years in college. Shedeur Sanders was 4 years in college. 2 years at an HBCU, 2 years at Colorado, and did good. Dylan Gabriel was at 6 college. Now, if you had a vice versa that thing, oh man, they would have killed Shedeur. Shedeur Sanders was 6 years in college. He don't know nothing. What the hell, he was trying to be a doctor? A lawyer? Them the only people I know stay that long in college. I'm just saying, if Shedeur Sanders had stayed 6 years in college, man, they would have buried Shedeur. You hear me? The media would have buried him. If you think it works now, if he had went the route that Dylan Gabriel did in college, they would have roasted. He would never hit that field this year. Never. Probably wouldn't have got drafted. Never would have got drafted. Name a quarterback that done went to 3 different schools, stayed in college 6 years, and got drafted in the NFL. Name one. He the only one. He the only one. Dylan Gabriel. Only one. Only one. And they tried to sell that dream. But through it all, Shedeur Sanders came through. And the defensive end of the Tennessee Titans, Jeffrey Simmons, summed it up. Listen to him.
Competitor, man. Like, he's been a competitor all his life. I mean, you a fan of, his family, especially with Deion. Them guys were right there in my backyard in Jackson State. So, I was kind of watching them, especially when they was at Jackson State. So, I been knew he was a competitor. I mean, it's the reason why you see the pre-draft things with him and Shedeur. I mean, him and Cam. So, like, he's a competitor. He's going to talk smack. I love it. I told him, we talked out the game and throughout the game, like, that's his team now. So he going to be a star in this league. He already a star. So you enjoy it when you playing against a guy like that that's, can give you a little smack talk back, but you also got to kind of let him know he's still a rookie. I told him that. He was like, God damn, you back here every play. I'm like, he's a rookie. So, but no, it was fun. It was fun to be able to, smack talk, but also still respect the game.
You got
Another point. The players knew Shedeur was that dog, but his coach didn't know that. let that make sense. The players of another team talking highly of Shedeur, they think highly of him, but the head coach, yeah, y'all. That's some nasty work. Shedeur, that dog. Almost 400-yard pass. Almost 400-yard passing. 4 TDs, only 1 interception. His team was down 14 points in the second half. They was down 14 points in the second half. He drove them 80 yards on the last drive in the snow. In the snow. He drove them down 80 yards for a touchdown. And Kevin had the nerve to go for I ain't want to talk about it. And the drive before that, he drove them down 60-something yards for a touchdown. And he tried to go for a 2-point conversion both times. All he had to do was just kick the extra point, and the game could have went into overtime. They had the momentum, and they could have easily left with a win. That's another loss on Kevin Stefanski's record as a head coach. He let a 1-win team, just like who else did that? Who else did that to him? Think about the Jets. Jets of Miami, a 1-win team beat the Cleveland Browns with the best defense on the field that day. Now, yesterday, I think the defense done gave up. They getting tired of Kevin, what he's doing. Once Myles Garrett got that sack, the defense shut it down because they almost let a running back on the worst team in the league rush for almost 200 yards. We ain't heard that all year. They quit on him. They quit. They tired. They tired. At some point in life, somebody get tired of your bull jump. People get tired of your trash. People get tired of stuff you're doing when they know it's wrong. They get tired. But guess what? They got their money. But some of the players hung in there long enough so Shedeur can achieve his goals and dreams. Some of the players hung in there, locked on and on, said, come on, Shedeur, let's do this thing. That tight end, Fannin, locked in with it. Jerry Jeudy, in spite of what happened last week, locked in with it. Let's go, Shedeur. Let's go. Now, another key thing on the defensive side, when they lost Collins last week for the season, I knew that was going to be a problem because Collins was one of the best defensive tackles on their team. And he was in second place behind Myles Garrett for his sacks. He got 6. So when you lose him, that's going to kind of hurt Cleveland defense going forward. He's one of the best interior defenses they got. Collins. He gone for the season. So, man, and make it so bad, Shedeur was playing with a bag-up lineup. A bag-up line. All 4 linemen was bag-ups. 3rd string. And he went out there and performed like that. He went out there and performed at a high level just like that. Out there doing. Out there doing. Derek Green. Jerry Judy. Drop back. What a throw. What a throw. Shedeur Sanders stood up in that paint yesterday, y'all. Shedeur Sanders, he stood up in that paint yesterday. Wasn't no perfect game, but hey, he played better than any quarterback that I have seen this year. And he's a 5th round draft pick. Let them tell it. Let them tell it. Want to thank that $5 super chat from Janet. Shedeur is the toughest player on the Cleveland Browns team. Cleveland or the NFL can't tell me nothing. Yeah, you're right. 100%. Appreciate that super chat. Shedeur Sanders is that dog, boy. He is a dog. I'm telling you, if they had a started Shedeur out from the jump and recognized this dude talent, Cleveland Browns could have won their division. He could have won their division easily. Because when you look at their division, that I think somebody's 6-6 or 7 games right now. They in first place in the division. 7 games, that's it. I think in Pittsburgh, they won yesterday. It's just crazy the way Kevin did everything. It's just crazy. I don't like the way it did. He goes to do it after the game, his post game.
When you drive the offense down the field, you have the opportunity to tie the game. When the sports going through your mind when you're taking off the field and you see the play go the way it goes.
I was thankful that I was driving down the field and we scored.
Did you wish you had the ball in your hand in that moment to tie the game?
If I'm out there any play, I would always have the ball in my hand, but that's not what football is. Sometimes you got to run the ball. Sometimes you got to kick a field goal. Everything. That's the game. That's the most important thing is the ball. So in any situation, of course you would want to, but I know we practiced something and we executed in practice, and we just didn't seem to this day. So I would never go against kind of like what the call was or anything.
Did it work in practice?
No, we just called it in the game and it didn't work in practice.
Shedeur,
I don't think you call plays in the game that didn't work in practice.
Shedeur, what was working for you so well today in what looked like pretty bad conditions out there?
What was working for me, I'll say God. God was working for me, honestly. The way how I would say, let me be mentally clear out there. The game is mental, and in a lot of different situations, a lot of, I would say, when it's a lot of confusion, when it's a lot of adversity, when it's a lot of things, going on, that's why I feel like God steps in the most for me to be able to help me stay mentally clear and mentally close to Him. So I would say that's definitely what was working for me today.
Did you feel, how important was that after the interception to be able to stay clear and then come back and lead those 2 drives in the last, whatever, 6 minutes?
Yeah, definitely on the interception. I say I feel we stagnant. I'm trying to get a spark. I'm trying to, so that's all it is. And as the game goes on, as time goes on, and I know my dad mad at me for that, for sure. I know the team, everybody is. But I would say as time goes on, those decisions and those things, will slim down. And we won't be in situations where I have that feeling, like I got to make something happen. So, yeah.
That's Shedeur Sanders taking on his question from his press conference. Hey, I guess they just don't know. They don't know Shedeur. No, I can't hate on them when they don't know Shedeur. So it is what it is. They gonna get to know him. They got a ball. They got a ball. When your team is down, 2 touchdowns in the second half, and he fights and uplift his team so they can come back, you got a winner. You know you got somebody who doesn't mind continuing to fight. He ain't never giving up. Never. So whenever you hear that term Brady mode, oh, he done turned up a switch. And that tight end number 44, Fanning, oh, they locked in. They locked in. Only thing the Cleveland Browns need to do going forward and next year draft, get them a good offensive line so they can get that running game going. Because this past game, the last 2 games, they haven't been able to get that running game going. Once they get that running game going, and Shedeur can do that play action, man, he gonna be dangerous. You hear me? He gonna be dangerous. So going into that draft, get them some big-time offensive linemen and get them at least 1 good wide receiver out this draft and sign them a free agent wide receiver and let them ride. I'm telling you, let them ride. Let them ride. And sign Shiloh to that safety position, help on the back end. Man, it's going to be a boy. Cleveland, I'm not saying you can win a Super Bowl. You can compete in your division next year. You can beat Houston, Texas, JR team. Yeah. We can beat them. Get you a good offensive lineman, get you a wide receiver out of the draft, and sign you a free agent wide receiver. Sign Shiloh as a undrafted free agent for the back end at that safety position, and let's ride. Let's ride. Because it looked like Kevin going to be back. Look like Kevin Stefanski is going to be back as a head coach. If they didn't fire him today, they ain't going to fire him. You know why? Because he's doing exactly what their owner told him to do. Hey, yeah. What Shedeur out there doing? Look like Shedeur trying to win the game. You got to do something about that, Kevin. All right, I'll take him off the field again, doing the 2-point conversion. Let me see who I can let play quarterback. I'll let my running back play quarterback and call a double reverse on an extra point. How about that, Jimmy? Yeah, just don't put Shedeur out there because he's trying to win. Yeah, I already know. Tell Shedeur to calm down. We got him. We can't win this year with this team. Tell him we need to lose the rest of the way so I can get some draft picks in there to help him out. Damn, Shedeur. I bet that's what that conversation went on about. I bet you that, because you can't tell me they will allow a head coach to continue to go out there week after week, day after day, and continue to coach like he's been coaching and still got a job. There's no way, man. No way. Everybody's telling me my next door neighbor, wait till the end of the season, Big Watts. I ain't got to wait for nothing. There's no owner will allow their head coach to continue to go out there and let their coach like that and be the laughing stock of the NFL. Every day, every week. They in on that. They don't want to win. They tanking. It's a sophisticated tank. We're going to tank without you thinking you see us tanking. No, we see what's going on. I see what's going on. No way. Okay. Y'all tell me, what other team have you seen this year, last year, year before last, that take their starting quarterback off the field at any time after they don't score and go for an extra point? I tell you what, when they get in the red zone, what other team would take their starting quarterback off the field? Do Kansas City do that? Do the Philadelphia Eagles do that? Do the Dallas Cowboys do that? Do they take Lamar Jackson off the field once they get in the red zone? Shedeur Sanders almost threw for 400 yards. They took him off the field. Come on, man. You gonna tank like that in front of us? Jesus. $2 super chat. The whole NFL is legs is shaking now. Okay, no, I can barely see Rev with my eyes on. The whole NFL is, yeah, oh yeah, they shaking. They shaking. Yeah. They don't woke up a sleeping giant. He ain't falling for that. He ain't, appreciate it, Rev. Appreciate it, Rev Ness. He ain't falling that. I just want to know, have anybody seen another team that take their starting quarterback off the field once they get in the red zone? Man, they don't do that in college. Man, Coach Prime don't even do that. Yeah, my bad, Coach Prime. Yeah. College football. Man, I go to the high school team. They don't do that. What other team do that? What other team do that? Once again, I can see why the Cleveland Browns are in the same predicament they are in right now because of their action. They showing me what they doing. They ain't got to come out and tell me. They showing me what they doing. That's why Shedeur was fourth in the rotation for his quarterback on this team. That's what they plan on. We gonna tank. We know what Shedeur can do. We know he'll throw that ball. Don't put him in there unless we have to. If Dylan Gabriel have never came up with that so-called concussion, would Shedeur be playing now? Would he be playing now? That's very interesting. Smiley Mom, Bridget, I love CC, Sabrina, the Black House. That would be an interesting story to know. That'd be very interesting. But I could have told them Dylan Gabriel wasn't going to work. I knew that wasn't going to work.
Yes, I just didn't respond. It's me. Yeah, though.
Shedeur Sanders had a good game in front of Coach Prime. I'm just happy for Shedeur, you know, because he got all them naysayers out there eating crows now, boy. They eating crow. They ain't got, hey, they eating crow. They silent now. They hushing now. Can't hear nothing from none of them. What they gonna say? What they gonna say? Oh, it's just Tennessee. Okay. They play Chicago this upcoming Sunday in Chicago, in the Windy City. And he going up against Caleb Williams, another first-round drafted quarterback. Now, when he go out there and do the same thing, what are y'all going to say next? What will the NFL world say next? If Shedeur Sanders just got through beating Cam Ward, who was drafted #1, this week he played Caleb Williams, who was drafted #1 2 years ago. Now, if Shedeur go out there and beat him and show him up the same way, what y'all gonna say next? Once again, Shedeur Sanders is not a 5th-round draft pick. Shedeur Sanders is the best quarterback. He was the best quarterback that was in this past draft. He should have went to the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee Titans, who y'all want now? You still want Cam Ward or you want Shedeur? You fired your head coach. You fired your head coach. Who picked it? Cam Ward. So if you have to do it all over again, who you want? You want Shedeur or you want Cam Ward? I'm just trying to tell you. About a month ago, you asked Cam Ward, how y'all team look now and what you think of your performance? Straight ass. Yeah. He said his team, his coaching, and his play, straight ass. Straight ass. Yeah. He told you. So I ask you again, to the owner and the general manager of Tennessee, who you wish you had got? Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders? Shedeur Sanders is a baller and a shot caller. And you're going to find out these last 4 games, because you can't just say he played against Tennessee. He finna get ready to play Chicago. He finna get ready to play Buffalo. He finna get ready to play Pittsburgh. And he finna end the season against Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. You got to remember, Chicago is in a playoff hunt. Shedeur could easily spoil their party. Okay? Buffalo Bills, they in a position to win their division. They in a playoff hunt. But guess what? In 2 more weeks, they got to come to Cleveland and face Shedeur Sanders in the snow, in the cold. And easily Shedeur can end. He can end it for him. He can end it for him. He just threw for almost 400 yards. So you can't sit there and tell me he can't end it for him. He can end it for him now. And then Pittsburgh. Can Pittsburgh hold Baltimore off? They got to come to Cleveland. Pittsburgh got to come to Cleveland. Aaron Rodgers got to come to Cleveland if they want to win this division, because won't no wild card come out of this division because they ain't won enough games. So the winner of the division, one who goes to the playoff, Shedeur can end Mike Tomlin, who didn't want to draft Shedeur, and Aaron Rodgers' playoff berth in 3 weeks. He can end it for him. Now, that's something to play for. That's something to play for. Shedeur going to send Aaron Rodgers into retirement in 3 more weeks. He going to send him in. He going to send him down. Myles Garrett should be close to that all-time sack records when they come to time. So they going to have something to play for. That defense going to have something to play for. And Shedeur Sanders going to have something to play for. He going to send you home. He going to end Mike Tomlin playoff run, and Mike Tomlin can easily be fired at the end of this season. Easily. They talking about it now. They talking about it. It's mighty strange when you try to set somebody up, and at the end, you got to come and see him. Yeah, you set Shedeur up. Now y'all got to come and see him. Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers, y'all got to come and see Shedeur. You didn't want to draft it? You have to come and see Shedeur. We just got through taking care of Tom Brady, Las Vegas Raiders, 2 weeks ago. Mike Tomlin, you up next. But we're going to take care of the Chicago Bears next. We're going to take care of them this week coming up. Shedeur continue to show progress, continue to grow as a quarterback, continue to watch his film, continue to get familiar with his offensive side of the ball players, and they're going to have a good game. We just need that defense to take it up in 1 more notch. Take it up 1 more notch. Let's try to win these last 4 games. Let's try to win these last 4 games. Now, I know they're going to tank. I know they're going to tank. I guarantee Shedeur ain't trying to tank. I promise you that. Shedeur ain't trying to tank. Shedeur coming to win. All he need is Fannin. We need Jerry Judy to lock in. I believe him and Jerry Judy are all right now. We need Quinshon Judkins to kick it up a notch. That running back. We need him turn it up a notch. We need him to turn it up a notch. And we'll be all right. We'll be all right. It's mighty strange the offense don't start to looking better, and then the defense turn out to be going down here. I know what's wrong with the defense. The defense tired. They're tired. They tired. They tired. Once again, the offense struggled in the first quarter. They took off in the second quarter. Went to halftime. They come out third quarter. I believe Kevin started calling the plays after halftime. The offense that died down. Then the fourth quarter, Shedeur locked in. He said, oh, hell no. After Shedeur threw that interception, boy, he went into Brady mode. Brady mode. Walked them down. Walked them down. Walked them down. That last drive, man, I said, man, that thing over with. Man, that last drive came, Shedeur went 80 yards down the field. He marched that team 80 yards down the field in snow, cold weather. Touchdown. Tough as nail. Tough as nail. Tough as nail. Shedeur Sanders is him. He is him. All right. That's the end of my show tonight. Appreciate y'all tonight. Once again, don't forget tomorrow night, Uncle Steve and JR Boxing right here. I'm just going to sit back and let them work. All right. Once again, thank y'all for watching Sports Talk with B. Watts. It's been a good night. It's been a good night. It's been a good night. And I appreciate y'all in the chat. Appreciate y'all in the chat. I know I didn't go down there and read the names down there. I'm trying to take care of my eyes without. Yeah, I need glasses. That's all it is. I already know what I need. But, yeah, I see some of y'all. I try not to focus down on that thing because I don't know how to turn the brightness down off my laptop. I don't know how to turn that bright light down. I'm going to figure it out. Once I get it down, I'm going to figure it out. But once again, thank y'all tonight, all right? I appreciate y'all for checking on me. Appreciate y'all for coming over here and rocking with me. Once again, thank you for watching Sports Talk with B. Watts. Until next time, tomorrow night, y'all be blessed. Peace.
Are you practicing to practice or you practicing to be great? Which way am I going? The next bus coming, you on the way.